plug for the Liberty Bus. There are about 25,000 signatures on it all around the country. So please, please sign the Liberty Bus before you leave. Put your message of freedom and liberty, your name, where you're from. We love to have Americans signing up for liberty after you leave this kind of event. Now today, I'm going to talk about something that, frankly, you usually hear Democrats, progressives, and liberals talk about. So I'm really going to challenge some of your thought processes. I want to start with 5 concepts. Taxation without representation. Limitation of free trade. Unlawful search and seizure. Destruction of governments of states. And immunity from prosecution for corrupt and abusive agents of the state. Does that sound familiar to you? You know what this list is? This is a list of 5 of the top reasons for the American Revolution. Now I want to read to you from the Declaration of Independence. This is the 2nd paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government. I haven't even started my speech yet. My fellow Americans, we are living in the novel Atlas Shrugged. Now, I am not a big fan of conspiracy theories. I don't actually think those clowns that are in office are all that smart or that well organized. However, I do think that every local, state, or federal politician who comes up with some brilliant idea for a new law is not very sophisticated. Most are well-meaning, but wholly uneducated about the purpose and philosophy of law, about economics, and about the Constitution. This Tea Party and liberty movement that has been sweeping this country is about us, we the people, re-educating ourselves on liberty. We're the ones reading the Constitution. We're the ones reading Hayek's book, The Road to Serfdom. We're the ones reading Atlas Shrugged. We're the ones reading Bastiat's The Law. We are the watchdogs. We cannot depend on the people we have elected, nor did the founders expect that to happen. They expected us to be the watchdogs, and thank God we have reawakened to that responsibility. We've been asleep at the switch for the last 100 years, and we're paying the price, but we're awake now. We're wearing these flags. We're flying these flags. We've got them on our sweatshirts. We've got them on our cars. We've got them on our desks. We're holding them in the fields. Don't tread on me. This is a movement that can find common cause across the spectrum. We've heard from some absolutely terrific speakers today. We have common cause with immigrants. We have common cause with African Americans. We have common cause with some progressives. Our rights are being violated across the spectrum, in economics, in civil liberties, in civil and voluntary society, among people who want to be left alone by those who have the audacity to think they can run our lives better than we can. folks, if you think we have it bad today, it can get worse, and it has been worse in our country. We must remember that once the government has power, when the economy is going south, they will stop at nothing to turn the situation around and retain their positions. I read a quote from someone who said, "It's a dysfunctional and immoral system where a person will spend millions of dollars to get a job that pays $150,000 to $200,000 a year." Well, guess what? Our 535 legislators, federal legislators, and president do exactly that. They desperately want their positions. Desperately. What can we do about this? Well, for one thing, we as citizens need to think strategically, like our founders did. Don't think in the moment. Understand the proper role of government and the necessity for us to keep government in its proper place, rather than use authority over us when we feel unsafe. Remember Benjamin Franklin's adage, "They that can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." Secondly, resist the urge to be afraid or want vengeance at all costs. Our liberty is not worth it. We must live our principles. Third, fight back. Work to repeal local regulations and laws that are a nuisance. In so doing, you will be educating your fellow Americans. When we look back at this period of history in America through the prism of time, I believe that we will conclude that the economic distress that we are in now is merely a symptom of a bigger issue. In fact, most of my presentations about a year ago were on the economic situation in this country. But I no longer believe that we can avoid an economic crisis. In fact, I think it's inevitable. I think this country is headed for an economic reset that will last for a decade or more. And I think we need it. But let me, ironically, quote Franklin Roosevelt, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." We are strong. We are Americans. We have ingenuity. We have hard work. We have productivity. We have the American way on our side. We can live through an economic crisis. The speeches I give today are about our civil liberties. If we let our civil liberties slip away, we no longer have the America that so many immigrants and our founders came to know and love and create. We will no longer have the America that has been bequeathed to us and that our children and grandchildren are depending on us, whether they know it or not, to preserve and to fight for. I don't know about you, but I gave up my career in corporate America. You know, those crony capitalists. I gave up my career to do this full time. And I'll tell you why. I said to my husband, "I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight." Those nitwits in Washington are not going to screw around with my life. Not without answering to me first. And I'll tell you what. We look back at our forefathers and they took up a cause that was a losing cause from the get-go, and they won. And they probably wavered in their faith and belief that they were going to be successful, but that didn't stop them from doing the right thing. They made tremendous sacrifices, and we owe nothing less to this country, the greatest experiment of self-governance that the world has ever known. We must not give up